Looks like a lot of you guys have been watching Buzztech.
Hey, what's going on, my dude?
Buzz, how's it going, man?
Hey, Paul, I want to start by saying this isn't usually my look, okay? This is not my usual look. Protect me, and we'll go into it, I'm sure.
Honestly, I'm hooked on your stuff. I've been watching it for a while now, and it's
Yeah,
so compelling.
it is.
Just the looks on these people's faces that you approach and the things they say. It's just so random. Anything could happen. It's brilliant.
Listen, it really is. It really is. And I think should we go into why the look first? Because for anyone, because I don't want people to think this is like something I'm used to doing. I don't usually come on camera. I usually keep myself away from it because the line of job what we're doing, right? When you're exposing tyrants, police officers, you have had guests on before. They target everything. They target your kids. They target your family. They target everything around you, but not you. And you're the last puzzle. You're the last puzzle, right? You're the last piece to the puzzle. We've had auditors where social services have come for the kids. All this just because we're highlighting the corruption within this country. Now, there is tons of corruption, and we don't have enough time to go into it all in detail, but it's scary, really. It really is scary. And not everyone understands it. So what I try and do, compared to maybe other auditors, everyone's got their own style. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. But I think it's important to say that, like, as an auditor, we're there to do a job, which is to highlight corruption up and down the UK. And doing so, I think it's, we have to spread the message, and we've got to try and act as professional as possible. And I know it sounds daft to act professional whilst I've got my face covered, but there's a reason for it. You know, there's death threats coming in. People want to do some dangerous stuff to me and my children and my family. Some real dark messages coming in. I went to the police with these, and the police refused to take them. I've got a big case right now coming in regarding the Lancaster Constabulary and the way they've harassed me. They've openly admitted, because I filmed them as a police force, they're going to harass me until I stop. And all this is evidence. Now, remember, these police officers work for us, the people who pay the tax. And trust me, we pay a lot of tax. I won't ever antagonize a police officer. I will never cause them trouble. I call them sir. I'm very polite in my manner. I treat them with respect. I feed their egos. I give them the biggest ego boost that you could ever possibly do. But in some cases, these officers still can't see through that, and they just go at you from every angle. So I just find it very frustrating that the establishment will not take us serious. And I know it's so ridiculous to take us serious while we've got face covering. But when the death threats are coming in like they are, and the police are not protecting us, we have to try and protect ourselves whatever way possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the themes on the channel has been that there are a lot of well-meaning people signing up for the police, but they're in a corrupt environment where these orders come down from the top, and it's all about revenue generation, arrest quotas, locking kids up for low-level drug offences. We want them going after the predators.
That's right.
But they're not. And I'm a member of LEAP, Law Enforcement Against Drug Prohibition. They say they signed up to go after the killers and the paedophiles, and they ended up getting assigned to infiltrate a student group, get them smoking weed, and bust them all at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That's not the purpose of the police.
No, it's not. And the levels, you wouldn't even believe the levels of they've gone out of their restriction. I've got an audio clip of a police officer off duty saying what they're going to do to me. A private, secret audio clip, which is all about to be revealed. Everything's coming out for what they're trying to do to me. Now, remember, I'm a man, right, who wants. We need the police, okay? We need them. I'm not anti-police. I just want to make sure that we're living in a country where the police are there for us, right? They're not there for the government. They're there for the people, us, the members of public, to serve and protect us. But they don't do that. And a lot of them don't do that. Some of them do. I've had some great reactions with police officers. Some of my biggest videos have some great reactions with officers. And trust me, I never go like this. It's always open face and talk to them, right? But yeah, but there's a lot of officers. You just wonder why they've got into the police force. So I'm trying this new tactic now, which is feed their ego, because a lot of them are in the police force because of their egos. I'm going to feed their ego so big. I'm going to make them know that they're special. And if they still abuse their powers, we've been stopped under terrorism law, Section 43 of the Terrorism Act. We get stopped, get handcuffed, we get put aside. I was outside MI6 building the other day. Not like this, just open covered, just not shorts and t-shirt, chilled, right? Taking pictures of the building. Police turned up, got it on camera, it's on my channel. They stopped me under Section 44 of the Terrorism Act. Section 44 is no more. They can't use that. He's got upheld because they abused the power so much on photographers, it got taken off him. So they tried stopping me for that. I said, hang on, Section 44 is not even there anymore. Why are you using that? Oh, no, you're right. Sorry, my bad. Section 43. That just proves they're making it up as they're going along. These are MI6. These are meant to be the ones protecting our country, right? You know, the most important buildings. So I had to educate them. I've not been to law school, nothing like that. I've come from a council estate, which I'm so proud of, because that's given me morals, it's given me respect, it's given me things I'll never, ever, ever have, right? You know, growing up on, so you know what I'm saying? Like you get brought up in them areas, you come out on top, don't you? Yeah. So education's important. People are saying to me, you should have allowed them to stop and search under Section 44. You could have had them done. But for me as an auditor, this is about highlighting, educating, and bouncing, you know, getting out of there and say, look, this is the problem with the country, you know? So yeah, it's rough though, mate. It's rough, but it's important that we continue.
So have you spent any nights in the cells because of this work?
I have.
What did you get grabbed at?
This is exclusive. No one knows this. So for me, I could have put this story out and generated a lot of views from it, right? Because everyone loves confrontation, they love all this. I was going to keep this, but I'm going to tell you. I was at a COVID site. And I went to a COVID site to pick up a COVID test. I walked into the COVID site with my friend. And I just walked in as normal. A gentleman, didn't say a word, he was a security guard, gripped me up and dragged me, and literally dragged me with me in my head in his arms, right? Dragged me out. I said, what are you doing? This is on camera, right? And cut a long story short, police turned up. I said, I'm not leaving until I have his name so I can report him. You can't be doing things like that. That's not the way it should be, right? And anyway, the police ended up arresting us for being a nuisance. Right, yeah, the most pettiest you could think of, right? I was waiting for, I'm arresting you for having your shoelaces undone. That was next, right? It was that kind of thing. And so I thought, okay, if they can arrest you on being a nuisance, that to me is being a nuisance on NHS property. Well, first of all, it's not NHS property, it's a car park. They're just leasing this property, right? Anyway, cut a long story short, they're there doing their thing, and there's no bail conditions, there's nothing like that. 2 days later, I get a knock on the door of the police. You were not allowed to film in Blackpool. What's Blackpool got to do with Preston? Like, this happened in Preston, what's that got to do with, I'm not allowed to film in Blackpool? Why? I don't know the reason why, but we're giving you a warning, and you will not be filming in Blackpool again. So you can't stop a member of public filming in Blackpool. Like, this is a tourist place. This is a place where you go and send your kids on holiday, you know, or whatever, go on the pleasure beach, whatever, you know. And he's telling me I can't take a picture of my children. And that was on video, and we captured that. And it was a young chap who came to the door. I felt sorry for him, really, because you can't send a young chap to someone's door who knows the law. And I kind of embarrassed him. It's unfortunate, really, because, like I say, I didn't set out to. But yeah, we've had, here's one for you, we've had firearm police officers at my address for my daughter having an argument with a friend at school.
Oh.
That's how petty it is. Honestly, TikTok behavior, but you know what they did? So they came into my house, said, look, I don't want you to film in my house. It stayed on. I said, no, I don't want you to film. It's staying on. I said, okay, I'm filming you then. Because I was willing to not film, right? Because whatever this was. So I knew then the motive. I knew what they was up to. And they asked my daughter, they said to my daughter, they said, can you remember anything you've done in the last month? I said, what line of questioning is that? Trying to incriminate my daughter, right? Can you know what I mean? Like, what kind of line of questioning is to ask a young child that? And I was like, what is this? Let's get to the point. What is she meant to have done? It was either her or a friend has said to another girl in school that they're going to have a fight. I went, are you for real? And my daughter, like, this, it's just, a dinner lady could have dealt with this. It took two honestly, it took two firearm officers to come to my address with body cameras on. One of them didn't say a word and just adjusted this camera just to face me. The other one faced me. And you know what they said on the way out? I said, look, I'm going to be getting a copy of them cameras. They said, do what you want, but you film us, so we'll film you, and walked out.
Wow.
So that was purely just a tactic, right? Now, my daughters don't get involved in all this. Obviously, she's a child. I don't keep her well away from all this, you know? But they'll target your kids. They'll sit outside your house for days. They'll harass you, all for speaking truth. And this is where we are now. I don't like balaclava. I don't like this. This is not the look I want to give. But I have to protect my kids and me.
So that young cop then that came to your house, the video, I watched that one. Was that part of what you just said?
Yes, that was a young chap. Yep. That was the Blackpool thing. He was trying to advise me not to go to Blackpool as a warning. Now, I'm ignoring that warning because I believe I'm allowed to do that. They can't. There's no judge sign this. This is a council. Remember, this is the council dictating to me if I'm allowed to go somewhere, if I'm not, right? They can't do that. Like, what's this? This isn't North Korea. They can't come to my door and tell me I'm not allowed to film my children on a fairground round in Blackpool. Like that. What planet is this? Otherwise, it'll be £100 fine, confiscation of equipment, so my phones, my cameras, just for taking a picture. Remember, I've never done anything wrong, right? Literally, okay, being a nuisance. Okay, being a nuisance, it's £40 fine, right? Let's just pay it and get it done with. But I was there and I was being stubborn because that gentleman dragged me out of the COVID site. And I was like, look, you can't grab someone like this. That isn't how you're you know. So anyway, it's not even going to go anywhere because there's evidence which will prove opposite. But I always know when the camera's rolling, you're incriminating yourself, right? So I try and be the best I can be as a person because I know I'm incriminating myself if I start doing anything daft. Not that I want to, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, dude, auditing. It's a very I'm new to the game, 4 months in, but my channel's gone crazy, and I'm very passionate about the job, and I think it's important. A lot of people have reached out, and I think it's important we keep moving on with it for sure.
What made you want to start the channel?
I was watching others, and I could see what was going wrong with them, and I don't mean this like a big-headed thing, but like there was a lot of words being twisted in dialogue and stuff, and I was like, I believe I can help you some way, and I got into this on the basis that I wanted to try and change. That's my focus. I want to change. I want this change. I want these things changing, you know? Because how do we... I'll ask you this question. Do you know any other governing body, organization, whatever, who is trying to stop police corruption?
No, because whenever they set one up, it gets corrupted itself.
Yeah. And you know, you have just hit that nail on the head. You know, the corruption itself. We have police officers in our chats causing conflict between other auditors to try and make us all fall out and cause this. It's called, they're just trying to break up the community because they're scared. The power and the numbers. I mean, numbers don't lie. I mean, you know, like you've seen the views, you've seen people interested, you've seen what people are, you know. People are so obsessed with trying to get this changed, but they don't have the they're worried. They're worried that they're going to get arrested. They're worried I don't care for being arrested for what I do, but because I believe this is a public service. I think it is, and I think The professional standards should be doing this, not us. They should be the ones out on the streets. They should be the ones. You have secret shoppers, correct? You're not going into shops and making sure things are right. They should have secret, auditors or whatever going, finding out which officers are bad and which officers are good. How do you know which officers are bad until they've done something wrong? You don't, right? So get them tested, like you test every other government, shops and stuff. We need to find out who these people are. It's becoming so easy now to become a police officer. It's crazy. It's worrying. You've seen the marches, and the officers are, sorry to say, they're about 4 foot tall. The kids, the babies, and you feel for them. You look at them in the eyes. I was stood in London, and this officer, he'd been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like 1 a.m. now, like the day after. He's literally ready for passing out. I wanted just to hug him. I said, look, dude, like what? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, just go home. You don't need this. Why are they putting you through this? And he just looked dazed, and it was on my channel. And honestly, I thought, geez, this is no good. And when I looked around, the police just didn't know what there was all, I don't know, oh mate, it was really weak. It was really weak and really poor, and it's scary, really, knowing how weak our police force is at the moment.
But it's so widespread, and you've got massive profits being made off the status quo. So they don't want it to change, do they? The powers that be, because they're profiting from it. The private prisons, privatizing probation, and all this stuff.
It's all set up for us to fail. Everything is set up for us to fail. So what we've got to do, whilst we've got the power to do so, because in France you're not allowed to film police officers, right? That's you're not allowed to do that without permission. That's coming here, and it will be coming here soon. So what do? We want these officers to be held accountable. How do we do it? If the, how do we do it? Like, and it's scary times ahead. It really is. Police officers, you see up and down the country. I'll tell you about an auditor 2 days ago. A young kid just starting out, got dragged by a sergeant in a police station in Wales. Neck grabbed, couldn't really breathe. He's screaming, he's crying. Please stop, please stop. Young kid, bless him. All he was doing was taking pictures of a police station. Gripped in and dragged in. And he went, I want him done for terrorism. He's not a terrorist. How can you get him done for terrorism? Remember, they've had Section 44 taken off him because of that abuse. Now they're abusing Section 43. It's. Do you believe I should be able to take pictures of MI6 building in London?
You should be able to take pictures of whatever you want.
Do you believe I should be stopped under terrorism?
No, that's like in America, where they said that if you were a car thief, you were like, that's a weapon. A car is a weapon, and it can explode. So you're a terrorist. They were trying to make them terrorists. It's just taking the law to extremes.
You know what it is? They are making a rod for their own back. God forbid, because they'll end up getting that took off them and all. God forbid a real terrorist turns up to a police station and stands there and wants to do something bad. They won't have any powers to stop him because they're gonna lose it on photographers.
Yeah.
Are you with me? They're gonna lose it.
Abusing it.
They're gonna abuse it. They're gonna abuse that power, and then they're gonna have that taken off. And what else have they got? They're gonna do nothing.
How many auditors are there?
Bro, I'd say probably about maybe 50 in the UK.
So how did you guys connect and form all this?
It's not necessarily connect. I think it's seeing areas in the country what are not being audited and going, hang on a minute. I feel that there's a lot of corruption around here, and it's fast growing. It's fast growing. But yeah, we help each other as a community. We support one another, and we're passionate about our job. We do it in different ways, of course we do, with different people. But yeah, I wouldn't consider auditing until you brush up on the law a little, because look what the example of the young auditor there. The police just abused him because they knew they could, and I wouldn't want to put anyone in that position. Even though it's important to try and grow this And if you don't mind, for me saying, we're gonna be launching something called cop spotting. All right, no, police spotting. Yeah, like train spotting. This, I hope, will encourage photographers up and down the country. We're gonna have a forum where people can share pictures, stories of literally people up and down the country taking pictures of engagement with police officers in the town centre, whatever, and writing a little report on it and putting it out there. And that, for me, would make the police realise it's not just them filming us, we're keeping account on them as well. Because remember, they were body cameras. We can't get a copy of that until they upload it and you send off a subject access. But, you know, the cameras in the town centres, can you get a copy of them? No. Do you see what I mean? So they're filming us all day. We can't walk around with our mobile phone. You know, Sean, that's all it is, right? We've all got mobile phone with cameras on. It's almost like they forget that there's a camera on it. It's 2021 now. We should be using them cameras every day, and you know, for history purpose and for everything we want to use them for.
So did you say you were motivated to start this? One of the reasons was you were watching other people do it, and you saw a way to do it better.
I don't want to say better because obviously that's like a
more efficiently then. Perhaps.
Efficiently. I would say, yeah, efficiently. I want to try and I feel daft while this is on, but I have to, right? Because no one's going to take me serious what I'm saying. But trust me, I'm not. You know, that people, you know, assume I'm some kind of thug, right? But I really want to take this and change the way it is now, and I mean it from the bottom. We have to be proud of our police officers. We've got to be proud of them. They ain't proud of us. You've got to ask yourself this question: why do fire brigades, you know, the firemen, why do the ambulance service? They never get grief. They never get trouble. Why do the police? Why is it always the police who are out to cause us trouble? Why is that? We should be proud of them, just like the NHS and the firemen. Yeah.
Do you think the war on drugs has a lot to do with it then? Because before the war on drugs, the cops were arresting like paedophiles, murderers, rapists, people who harm other people.
Yeah.
But when the war on drugs was introduced, the lowest hanging fruit were the drug users. Who's a young person smoking weed harming? The whole purpose of the police and the prison seems to have been subverted by this for-profit war on drugs, which has turned the police into the enemy of the people because more than half the population dabble in drugs.
Yeah, and that's to me, Sean, is one of the factors of why I believe police officers now abuse powers, because they could, under the drugs, you know, or they could stop a search. This new one, this Section 60, where they could stop a search if they suspect you were carrying a knife. I mean, how do Sean, like, come on, like, how do I suspect you were carrying a knife? What? Like, who looks like a person who carries a knife? Do you know what I mean? But it's just another power. It's just another power for them to just to abuse. And it's scary how much power they have. If they can arrest you for being a nuisance. A nuisance. Of course I'm a nuisance. You have to be a nuisance to do this job. Because you're putting pressure and you've got to highlight the wrongdoings, but also highlight the good doings. My big, like I say, one of my biggest videos, a police officer, where he's actually being nice, an old school cop. We're having a good engagement, and he's good old traditional cop. And he's almost laughing at this younger police force because he's like, it's embarrassing. And that's one of my biggest videos today. So for me, this is not about going there to a police station, getting bad interaction, putting it online and getting views. Because like I've just proven, one of my biggest videos is where police officers have been nice. So if any police officers watching, I always say, look, if you know there's an auditor out there, go and say hello. You know, get some engagement. Show them that you're not this person. And if you don't, then people can only assume going up to a man with a camera giving him abuse, you're just a wrong un, and you're the one we should be exposing.
So what is the worst police station and how are these ratings formed? Okay,
so the worst police station. Oh wow. There's been a few. I mean, depends on how your class worse. I mean, worst police station looking. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to offend anyone from that city, but I would probably say, oh damn, oh man, there's so many because I I mean, I've been from Scotland to to London. I've been up and down the UK. I would probably say, mate, I don't want to say the worst, but I will break down. I'll break down why, why, because it's very difficult because there's so many. The worst, one of the worst engagements I've had with police officers in Blackburn. Now, I'm still filming. Yeah, I called him Del Boy. So I'm a channel, and I called him Del Boy officer, and he said, "Call me that again, you'll be arrested." Del Boy. I mean, he looked like Del Boy from Only Fools and Horses. He had the sugar. He had the, he who dares, And I said, anyways, it was a bit weird. He was like, and he opened the gate, and he came close to me. I said, "What are you doing?" And he was like, No. I said, "What do you mean? No, it was in plain clothes." I said, "Bro, you make a bit of edgy here." He said, "Just carry on." I said, "Carry on what?" He said, "Just go on, carry on. Don't be filming their cars, otherwise you'll be arrested." Cars. I mean, these are cars. Film cars and you'll be arrested. What for? Hostile reconnaissance. So you think I'm a terrorist? You think I'm going to be? I've told you I'm here to do an audit. Well, we don't believe you. Well, you better believe me, because that's what I'm here to do. Anyway, it went on, but yeah, they really are like. But I went back there I went back there as like a revisit, because sometimes we do that to see if things have changed. And that officer, I was told, was suspended. Yeah, but they didn't get told by me. I had to go there, and I spoke to an officer, and he said on camera, "I can't tell you," but the officer in question was suspended for so many days. So that's a good result.
What do you reckon is the most corrupt?
The most corrupt. Right. Okay. There's a police station in London, Lewisham Police Station. It's the biggest police station in the country, in the UK. Now, this has been like a trending police station in our auditing field for the last, I don't know, maybe year. Auditors have been going there, and every single one who went there was stopped under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, right? Because that's the one they used. Yeah. They get stopped and searched. They get the phones confiscated. And but anyway, I went there, and I was in Discord with my moderators just before starting my audit, right? And I said, "Listen, I can't go in here with the same approach, because they're going to do me. They're going to do it. I need to think clever here." So what did I do? I thought, right, I'm going to play their ego game. I'm going to give them so much love and respect. They would feel wrong in their heart if they've got one. You know what I mean? To do that, right?
Yeah.
So I did. So I stood there, and I told him, I said, "Oh no, if I'm not allowed to film, I was playing that game, right? The dumb game, like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, sir. Even though I'm legally allowed, but I played the dumb, right? I played the, and they was like, "Oh no, don't worry, don't panic, don't," right? I was playing this game with them, and and then, yeah, they went, "Well, we know you're not a terrorist." And then the lady says, "But we could stop you under terrorism." I said, "Well, if you know I'm not a terrorist, how can you stop me under Section 43? You've just said, I know you're not a terrorist." Anyway, everyone's experience is going there. It's always been stop search, Section 43, And remember, every time they stop you under Section 43, that could potentially stop you from going to America, and other places in the country, in the world, right? Remember, I'm filming a police station. We're telling a story about an officer who's been selling drugs, literally, we know stories about officers, abusing the powers left, right, and center. But yeah, I went to Lewisham, biggest police station, and I got him right in the palm of my hand. And dude, it was probably one of the most enjoyable audits, because there was a bit of comedy, there was a bit of humor, and I think the twist at the end, where the police officer was parked illegally, it was like, got you, and yeah. So that was probably one of the best detailed ones. But yeah.
What's your most watched videos on your channel?
The most watched is police stations.
PlayStation ones.
Yeah, the police station ones. Yeah, because you never know what you're gonna get. You don't. I swear to God, you could go to a police station. It could be nice. Yeah. But you can go to an officer could pull up, jump out of his car, leg it after you. I'm taking pictures. I'm telling a story. As auditors, we go to these places with like a news reporter. We go there telling a story, whether it's PC, whatever, doing this and doing that, whatever the story is, right? So it's just journalism. That's all it is, really, auditing. But yeah, I hope this new thing which we're about to launch, which is obviously, cop spotting, police spotting. That to me will encourage, I hope, photographers to start. The police need to start getting used to it. You go to London, they're used to cameras. They're not, but yet you go to Wigan or Preston, yeah, they go, "What are you doing?" Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what's this about? Get away? You're a terrorist. Come on, because I've got a camera. I'm a terrorist. So yeah, but like I said, my concern is if they do lose Section 43, what do they have? They have got other ones, but they really do need a lot of evidence for the other ones. So it's concerning. They need to stop abusing that power. There was a memo what got sent from, which got leaked, and we got hold of it, from NPCC, which is the National Police Council, to all the police stations up and down the country, saying you should not be using Section 43, and that should be your last resort. It's their first resort. It's their first, and they're not even listening to their own memos, right? These are always getting leaked. We have police officers ringing. I have a little podcast on a nightly basis, and we have police officers ringing up, not giving the names and stuff, but they'll be telling us, like, look, we enjoy your content. We think it's good, but there's ways to do it. And the police officers are literally like guiding us on how to do things. It's very a strange situation,
What tips are they giving you?
Well, to conduct yourself professionally, not to go in there with that attitude of anger and frustration, because if you go there with that chip on your shoulder, I think you're not auditing them, you're auditing yourself. Audit them. We're there to do a job to highlight what they're doing, not what we're doing. So I think that would be my message for any auditor coming through. Remember your job. Remember what we're there to do. We're not even there necessarily to fight it. We're there just to find out what they're doing wrong and leave. And then hopefully professional standards will take it off. And if not, we can then civilly,
Have you had to adjust your tone from when you first
Yes.
started? Have you learned some lessons and adjusted accordingly?
100%. 100%. The police now are playing a dirty tactic. They're coming for the kids. There's other auditors have come for kids for, and they are not messing around, Sean. They're not. They are serious. Police are the biggest gang at the moment on the streets. You could ask them a simple question, they'll turn it into, why do you need to know that? It's a simple question. We're not trying to trick you. Just be nice and polite. You don't need to be rude. Why shouldn't we audit you? You audit us. You stop us. We walk down the street and you look at us funny. I can smell weed. All of a sudden, oh, he must be smoking weed. You see it. Kids walking down the street and they're getting searched. Why can't we do that to them? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of police officers doing wrong. A lot. Lancashire Constabulary, there was a police officer alone. He was selling our data to insurance companies. Yeah, for years. Yeah, for years, this guy was selling our data to, insurance companies when there's been a car accident. And when you used to get them calls saying, oh, have you had an accident? That's because you've been on record in a police station that you've had a car accident. And 2 days later, they've got that information. These insurance companies are ringing you up saying, have you had an accident? You go, oh, yeah, I have. Because this officer's been selling the data. Just writing it down on a sheet of paper and then selling it to insurance companies because they know that person's had an accident. It's bad, dude. The level of corruption is horrendous. And it continues and it continues and it continues. There's another officer, again, I focus in Lancashire, but there's another officer where, two vulnerable ladies came to help in the police station. What did he do? Had him on Facebook, started seeing them, started meeting them, had a threesome with them. Oh, yeah, got it all on camera. Oh, it's a police officer. They went there because it was, vulnerable. They was needing help. And the officer abused his powers. He got 3 months suspended. And that was it. Flip that around, right? Imagine that being a school teacher or, I'm hoping they would get for years. But police officers seem to get that, that get out of free card, and get looked after in jail, prison. Get looked after, don't they? You got on the pedo wings. They get looked after.
So for police officers making a certain income a month, and then they go on a drugs raid, and there's like I say, there's like £100,000 of cash and drugs in there. I mean, how tempting is it just to supplement your income by only handing in a little bit of that product or cash and keeping the rest?
They do it, don't they, Sean? They do it. And they're doing it in prisons. We audit prisons as well.
Do you? How do you audit prisons then? Just show up.
which turn up to a prison and we let them know that we're onto them, and don't be sneaking drugs in for the prisoners because these are vulnerable prisoners in there. Yes, it's got to be tough for them. Well, there should be a team of people in there helping them. Don't start dating them and start, giving them, bringing in drugs and stuff for them, because that's going to add maybe another 2 year, 3 years to the sentence. Yes, they might want it and they might need it, but I'm sure that's what the medical care team are there for, to help them. You're just giving them an easy way out. You might put another 5 years on top of their sentence just because you just want a little bit of money, or maybe $2,000 outside for a little bag of cocaine, whatever, Like, it's just all money, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, prisons are interesting because I've been to Scotland's biggest prison. I've been to all the big prisons. Yeah,
What is the biggest one in Scotland? It's not Ballina, is it?
Ballina, yeah.
Oh, that's where Johnny Boy Steele kept escaping from.
Yeah, Ballina. Yeah. No, it was good. No, the Ballina one was a bit crazy because, yeah, it's good. But again, it's one of the officers, security officers, jumped in his car, followed my car around the estate, around it, and he's searching for me. And this is not a security officer; it was a prison officer. Like, come on, it's not even part of his duty to do this. He follows me around, so I parked around the corner. He didn't see me. I waited like 20 minutes. Next thing, I go, he's got to go now. He can't be there. I turned around. He sat there in his car, prison officer. He pulled up behind me. He walked into the shop, and it's on me, and I'm filming him going in the shop. I said, "How dare you do that?" And he had his badge on, and I got his name, and I said, "Oh, it's all right. I've got your name now. It's fine. See you in a bit. What are you doing?" And he stood there with his notepad, writing down my registration and all this. Like, this is half an hour after me leaving. He's still sticking around, wondering what I'm doing. But again, I won't dress like this, because if a girl like this, people are. But yeah, I was just a photographer. But Ballina was good.
I was there a couple of years ago. Johnny Boy took me there and showed me how he escaped and everything.
No way.
Yeah.
Is that on your channel, this?
It might be some of it. I mean, the podcast with him are on the channel, but I don't think we filmed the social side of it because he had some guys with him as well who were pretty heavy. So nobody was following us.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the prisons they're very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I've done them all, but yeah, it's a very interesting job because you get the opportunity to really, like you right, you get the opportunity to go inside the mind of these guests which you're talking to. You really get to understand them. And like I say, for me, I'm on the streets. We're out on the streets, we're out in the field, and we've seen it. I do something called Buzz Patrol at night time, and we drive around the cities, different cities every night. Well, most nights. One night, I saw a gentleman with a knife out with a woman to a throat. Yeah, give me your money, give me your money. This is live on streaming. This is live.
What city was that?
In Lancaster, in Morecambe.
And is this on your channel?
On my channel, yeah.
What's it called, that clip? I want to see that.
I'll send you it. It's called Morecambe Buzz Patrol. It's on there, but we do it live. Yeah, so we drive around the cities at night time, and if we see any wrongdoings or whatever, we try and diffuse it or whatever we've got to do, right? And we're driving around, and this one night, this lady, I heard her screaming, and I knew there was something not right, and it was a one-way street, and I pulled up, and I said, "What are you doing?" And this is on camera. She was like, help me, like this, right? She was like whispering, and he was like, no, everything's fine. I said, listen, step back, I'm a police officer, right? It's instinct. He went, right, okay, I'm sorry. So he stepped back, right? The ladies would come running over to me in the car. I said, get in, and she's run around the opposite side of the car, like right back towards him, round the back. I'm like, no, he's literally, I'm sat in the front now. So I've had to pull up to the car. The ladies going, the guys put the ladies, the knife at throat. He took the 50 quid or 60 quid out of her, and he's legged it. I've jumped out of the car, run over to her. She's midnight in middle of Morecambe. Like, and you know what? It took 45 minutes for the police to turn up. Nighttime robbery, boom, street robbery. 45 minutes. Day after, the investigator rang me up. We really appreciate for your footage. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have had him. So, let's go back to the story of me filming. That when they need me, it's good. They need the footage. Oh, thank you very much. We love it. They can't have it both ways, right? They either want me to do this or they don't. And that's, yeah.
So if you shop at a police station, then how long does it take before someone materializes and confronts you?
Mate,
And do you get a bit of an adrenaline spike wondering
I
what's
love
going to
it.
happen?
I love it because you don't know, because you know you're legally allowed to do it, right? And that feeling, Sean, I'd love for you to come and just witness, even from afar, just see the experience. Because this is a new wave. This is a new trend which is happening. And what you'll tend to find, what I've noticed, is you won't see anyone at first, right? But because of they have the radios, they were stood there, and you'll see one officer peek fruit blind, right? Right. Next thing, you'll see 10 cars come past looking at me. The radio through, there's an auditor outside. And again, this is what I mean about ego. They want to be on camera. So what they do, they just drive past. And you'll see one car, then they'll do a U-turn, then another. It's like a parade, and it happens all the time. It's honestly, it's ridiculous. They all want to be on camera. It's pathetic. It's really, and this is what I'm saying. It's so bad. Yeah, it's showing up, and this is why I sit there and I laugh, and we have like a little walkie-talkie system which we all communicate with, right? Well, me and my mods in there, and I'm like, oh, I'm here at this place, just so they know where I am, so to keep tabs of where I am and that, because it is dangerous. Because remember, Sean, like if I'm taking a video of someone, their families, their nephews, their uncles, their aunties are instantly hating me, right? Because they're not going to want their dads being shown up or their brother or whatever. So that's why covering up is very important. These death threats, Sean, are so serious. They're so detailed death threats. They're not just like your typical "I'm going to kill you," right? These are serious death threats, which I'm getting. And I reached out to the police, thinking, okay, let's see if they can. They're still, even to this day, right now, 6 weeks in, and my family's had to move. They've had to be put in hotels for the last 6 weeks. It's cost a fortune. We can't live in the same house anymore. My car's tracked. It's just. They've really, really come down on me. They've really come down on me just for filming in public.
And does that make you want to continue, or is that dispiriting?
If you want the truth, Sean, it's very hard. It's very hard because when you've got kids, you look at them in the eyes and you think, I'm doing this for you. You know what I mean? Like you've got my kids. So we're so good at hiding it away from them, right? They don't have a clue. They really don't. They're just normal kids. And, it's so hard. It is hard. It's so hard because these death threats, they just think they're on like an holiday staying in hotels, right? But it is hard. But like some people will say, well, the job, you made your bed, lie in it. Well, I didn't make this bed. This isn't the bed I lied. I should be lying in. Getting death threats saying they're gonna do these crazy stuff to my wife and my children. And I always say this: if you don't want to be filmed, don't walk up to a man with a camera. And that's it. I don't walk up to anyone, just slam a camera in the face. My camera's sat there. If you walk in front of it, that's your problem, not mine. There's ways to get around. You don't need to engage with me. And yeah, it's real rough. Like I say, I don't want to be on here sympathy and all that, but it is rough. And it's not just me. There's other auditors going through the same thing. But what we have to do is try and find new avenues. And hopefully the police can't arrest you for being nice, can they?
No. Has anyone close to you been attacked, or has any weirdos showed up at your properties?
One day I had a very strange gentleman outside my house. There was with some equipment, police undercover, sat in a car outside my house for about 12 hours. I said, listen, I was in the middle of a podcast, a live stream. I said, listen, there's a car outside. I don't know who he is. He's still there. Like it's pitch black now, 11 o'clock at night. He's been there all day. And so I opened my window. I said, what are you doing? Who are you? And he was like, well, what? I'm not police. I said, I didn't say you were. Why would you? Right? What? I said, who are you? Tell me who you are. He said, no. I said, bro, you've been sat outside my house all night. So I've gone out the back door and I've gone downstairs to the. I'm not police. I said, again, I've not said you are. What are you doing? He was a gentleman, oldest fella, jumped in car, and him and his pal sped off. There was obviously some kind of. They was looking right at the house. They didn't know I was looking. Obviously, I was peeking out different windows. But they was obviously up to no good. But I think a lot of police officers think I'm anti-police. Well, I'm not. And you'll never hear, there is. This is another thing which is a big problem, Sean. Is like this auditing game. We have a lot of people coming into the auditing game, right, with the intention of hating police. It's given the bad reputation because that isn't what I stand for, and it's not what a lot of other auditors stand for. If you're coming in this game with that mindset, I don't want you in it, and I'm sure the others don't, because this isn't about hate. This is about fixing, and that's why, we have to. There was one gentleman who said, if I send a female police officer getting her head kicked in, I'd film it and put it on YouTube. I said, well, I don't want you part of me. Get away, because that's sick. If a female police officer is getting you'd film it and put it on YouTube. Like that's not normal. Are you with me? That's not normal, is it? So, yeah. So that's So I distanced myself from this gentleman because for that reason, I'm not gonna be a part of that, because this isn't a hate group, is it? But yeah, it's rough. It's real rough.
So conversely, then, what's the love and support been like for this?
Oh, massive. And I mean, Sean, it's been amazing. The community is so. I used to be into gaming, Sean. I used to love just being able to game, relax, enjoy life, and just have a good time. But I'm telling you, Sean, this is another level. The community is, apart from, I know we focus a lot on the negative stuff, but that's like 10%. The 90% of the love and the support is incredible. It's incredible. I believe I could reach out to any of them, because they look at us as like heroes, because we're bringing the attention which is needed, right? We're bringing the eye where their eyes, and they feel proud of us. They're like, come on, lads, you're doing great. Like, but yeah, it's immense, Sean. It is so good. It really is.
We've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to just jump to some questions. But just a question from me to you. Whereabouts are you based in the country?
Lancaster,
right? Well, if you want to come to Liverpool studio, it'd be great to get you in and do a full podcast sometime.
Hey, sign me up, Sean. Listen, it would be a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me a part of this. This is a great opportunity for me, and I hope people understand this again isn't my luck, and it's not the auditing luck, but we have to protect ourselves until we understand if these threats are real, if this is really going on, and until the police do their job and find out if they are real, then we're in real danger.
And if you're auditing in our neck of the woods, I mean, my cameraman's over in Essex, we could come and trail you around and film you filming them if you want.
You audit the auditors, bro. Let's do
it. So you got a question here from Kelsey. What is your understanding of the term policed by consent?
My understanding by police by consent. So I don't know. See, we're delving into like the common law side of things, and that's something I'm working on at the moment. I'll be honest with you. Police by consent is something they've got an oath, haven't they, to act upon. They have to treat us with respect. They have to serve and protect us. That is their duty. That is their overall oath, top and bottom line. If they don't do that, then they're not standing by what they're saying. So for me, they're the people, they're the officers who we have to highlight and we have to bring to the attention. And do you not think like, for me, this is a public service, no? Is this not something the public need to see? We send an officer, a Greater Manchester police officer, beating hell out of his dog. You might have seen it was all over the newspapers, in his back garden. His neighbour filmed it. Try and guess what? He was a police officer in Manchester. In one of the airports, carrying a gun every day, and he blamed it on PTSD because he was at the Manchester Arena attack. He shouldn't be carrying a gun if he's got PTSD. Walking around an airport with a gun in his hand, and he said that's the reason why he beat his dog up. It's corrupt. It's wrong.
Next question then is from Stephen Pugh. Are you aware of the involvement of the Freemasonry London Police? And that's the kind of things they get up to.
Not really. Again, it's something I don't know much about. And again, that's another angle. People that when we do the podcast, people do mention this a lot, and it's something I definitely need to look into. But it's a little bit deep, to be quite honest with you. But no, I'm afraid I don't know much about that. But I'm definitely willing to learn. So if anyone's got any information, send me it.
All right. So the last question then, from me at least, is what about comedy in your videos?
I like to bring humor. I like to bring it. You've seen the video. I like to bring the humor, because people say you're the Peter Kay of auditing because we've got the same kind of accent. Garlic bread. No, I think humor is a diffuser. isn't it? It diffuses the situation, right? If you
Yeah.
can make an officer smile, if you can make an officer laugh, if he doesn't laugh and you've just told a good joke, there's an issue with him, right? There's something not right. So, but 9 times out of 10 they do, and it does diffuse the situation. And I think that's what we need right now. We need to diffuse. We need to calm down, just slow down a little bit, because what they're doing is very dangerous, going after the kids and stuff like this. If we have overstepped the line as an auditors, then I think we need to just take a step back and go, okay, could we have done that a little bit different? Could we do this? Because again, we're all learning, aren't we?
Absolutely. That reminded me of a quote from Two Tonys, the guy who took care of me in prison. He was a multiple homicide mafia murderer, and he said that humor can diffuse many a violent situation. And I saw him use it to that effect. But yeah, good point there. Huge thank you for coming on, Buzz.
Thank you so much, my mate. Thank you. And guys, thank you, Sean. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. And if there's anything we can do in the future, that would be awesome.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Absolutely fantastic. I've sat here riveted listening to you. And I urge people to go down and check out your links and
thank you, man.
Get addicted on his videos like I am.
Yeah, right. Cheers, Sean.
All the best,
have a great podcast. Thank you, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Thanks.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.